Man, Gaimin, our production got to it before me. I was going to say, speak of ice cream, what do you think about, Vanillix, let's get that in your night, huh?
But they're tasty.
Anyway. Yeah, yeah, they're tasty, huh? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing on screen right here is obviously the team's going to be picking. What you want to be looking out for, though, typically is you see Assassin Dave for Foreign Famous, amazing Charizard player. Some people would call, number one, number in the top 3, etc. So be looking out for that for your Charizard play. Fui, I've seen Fui just be a monster with multiple different Pokemon. Going to be running the Machamp today, Kanashi.
Yeah, definitely another interesting lineup coming out. And yeah, Foreign Famous is one of those teams that, like, they play what they want and they are confident in what they play. So it really has to be interesting to see what is going on here. Whether teams are going to be a little bit more stable or if they're going to go for something a little bit more risky. And it's interesting to see the difference of mentality, especially moving forward in these matches.
So here we go, my friends. This is that lobby music we all love, and it means that we know a match is going to be starting soon. We just got to wait for those bars, obviously. So we want to thank you all for the love in the chat and you showing up here for competitive Pokemon Unite here with Pepper.gg, Arcway Gaming. You guys, absolutely amazing. So there it is, Kanashi. That is our do. We're going.
Yeah, we are ready to go ahead and start this match once again. This is the start of the finals match between Gaming Gladiators and Foreign Famous. We do have Foreign Famous this time going to be on the purple side and Gaming Gladiators going to be on orange. Both of these teams are about to go ahead and figure out how they're going to be playing and squaring up against each other here.
And so right now we're seeing, of course, the typical of where you would imagine these players would go because the Machamp going to be in that top lane. That's what we mean by that mainly because obviously the Slowpoke we're going to see here on the bottom, joined by the Pikachu, and you got your support there, which is going to be Hoopa, obviously. That's for Foreign Famous. Gaming Gladiators still mostly sticking with what we've seen. We do have the Greninja in play, though, so we do want to make note of that. It's always the choice. It's like, hey, are we going to be seeing Toon with that Dragonite or something else? But man, early takedown right now of the A9, and so Goof probably a little bit upset, but like we said, this isn't the end of the road. I mean, it's not the end of the world when that happens, but also Chansey taken down this early.
Oh, and this time they are going to rotate Toon down quick. He's saying, you take out my carries, I'm going to go down and take out yours. So he's trading them out as quickly as they can. They understand that they may have pushed a little too far in Toon, trying to clean up and punish them for their over-aggression this time. And that is going to be the case here, as he's going to score in that 23 and might be able to back out of here.
And so that does, of course, the only implications we can say is that does leave, I was going to say, in the very capable hands of Lutano having to deal with 2. He will actually go down, though, as I'm saying those words, and you're going to see a 30 and a 20 to make 50 right here for Foreign Famous. So that's looking pretty good when you're in that first 2 minutes. Right now, it's just, it is pretty knockdown drag out when you describe this fight. Still trying to contest for these Audino. You had those first Combi and Vespiquen. Goof dropping down pretty low once again. I think they realize, who are the kind of squishier members here. Foreign Famous is trying to, take advantage of that. But also Zug, as a tanky support, loving that, obviously, Wigglytuff play in the past, but Blissey these days, you do put your body on the line. You're kind of between your team and the other team and trying to tank a lot of those hits while you make those plays happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Dang, that recovery from the regenerator on Phil was ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
he went down from like 2 HP to all the way to like about 40%. It was,
yeah,
it's crazy how much slack off and regenerator can do for you. So definitely taking advantage of that. This time we do see Lutano and Fui going head to head, possibly just feeling each other out, trying to figure out where they want to go with this. But yeah, these teams are definitely trying to get the heads up, especially moving into this Dreadnought fight.
You saw Toon was very close to evading that, but will actually lose his life right here. And this is a little bit close to the Dread, but what was probably more important here would have been that experience that comes with the Combi and the Vespiquen and some of your, central area spawns coming back up and other things. So that would be kind of more what you're missing out on. Toon going to try to make up some time, though, for that and then rotate to Dread, possibly. Although you're noticing we only have about 2 seconds till that happens. So we're looking at maybe kind of an abridged Dread fight right here. It's not going to have all hands on deck, but a lot of hands on deck.
Yeah, they are trying to figure out what they want to do. Yamit's already in the back trying to deal out the damage to Goof, and Assassin Dave trying to go for the assassination onto Goof. Can they get that? They get Zugrug instead, so that damage is going to go through, but at the cost of not quite securing down Goof, and now they're looking at Goof. Can he stay alive in his own little bubble? The freeze coming through, followed by Dazzling Gleam to be able to stop the push and get that kill, and Goof still somehow securing their way out of here, but Dreadnought dropping down to a quarter, going to continue on with that pressure. Can Gaming Gladiators clean this up? They aren't going to be able to. They are going to be able to do it thanks to Indie Bear with that last hit, and now they're going to go ahead and try to push forward. Can they grab another one? But it looks like Gaming Gladiators is going to play it a little bit more safe and back out of here. But if the fight still continues, they still continue. It looks like Lutano is saying, I still want to go. Assassin Dave going to drop that first seismic slam to continue on with that pressure. And we'll see if that is to either escape or just to get some damage through.
What we do in life echoes in eternity, ladies and gentlemen, and what Goof does in Unite echoes in eternity. We mean an actual eternity, because Goof living through all of that, absolutely amazing, as Kanashi pointed out, just the testament to Goof GG's skill. And so anyway, we're gonna bring down the bees right here for this objective. Phil still tanking those hits as he should. You know, that Slowbro, we mentioned it before, but this is just a testament to what Slowbro can do. Fui gonna be chasing down here, and looks like they are gonna maybe make an assault here on this top path. Lutano would have to deal with that by himself, though, so it's kind of that 2 versus 1 situation until Toon quickly gonna actually be making that mobility put to good use, because gonna be up there to help as well.
Yeah, they're trying to get that damage through the Aurora Veil. Not going to be enough to survive this time, as it looks like Foreign Famous trying to apply that pressure and allow some of their players to go ahead and score. Even though it is just a little bit, they are getting that pressure through. You see the way how this team is utilizing both Safeguard and Trick in order to make sure that Goof is always supported in these fights and always trying to survive. As you see the Aurora Veil, once again, Aurora Veil, Safeguard, followed by Trick, just giving them the speed and the damage that they need in order to clean up certain fights. And now Goof kind of caught out here. Can they escape the Aurora Veil there, the Trick there for the speed, just getting out? But now they're getting ready. 11 seconds till the next Dreadnought, so see the teams start rotating down here.
Kanashi, this is one of the things, as we actually see a lot of slugfest going on the top lane, it's going to be a trade-off. But this is why I love having the viewers in the chat pointing these things out, or on my personal YouTube channel. I love having a viewer that can point it out. You know, Rings Unbound, I can't even mention this because we're going to see this knockdown, drag-out fight. It's going to be those team fights going out for the Dreadnought. Anybody can come in with those Rings Unbound. You got the portals, so they can port in. But Zeke Fox was saying Zugrug was the real MVP there with Goof. You know, that Safeguard preventing that Charizard Unite at the Dread. And so now we're seeing the fight of this next Dread, and that's going to be right side team. So Gaimin Gladiators will pick that up once again. Very nice, Gladiators. They are uniting up, and then there's going to be that seismic slam from Assassin Dave, kind of being that lone with the Fui right now, trying to just defend on this goal, and you tune absolutely a menace. So right now it's looking to be a little bit of a tall order for Foreign Famous to try to defend, because that bottom goal is ripe for getting some of those scores in. Although notice how quickly they are kind of realigning and regathering up here, able to maybe make some more defenses than I thought. And that's the caster's curse of Unite, you know, as this is why I was pointing out Zeke Fox and the viewers that I love y'all. Thank you so much for pointing those things out, because when we're casting a Unite game, anything can happen in 10 to 20 seconds that you just do not have the breadth to the bandwidth to even cover it all.
Yeah, and that was a really interesting push. You know, Gaming Gladiators did secure that Dreadnought, but when it came down to Foreign Famous, they ended up losing that initial fight, having to play back and trying to figure out where they wanted to go, and then they all just rotated back down here. The second that they all respawned, they were just ready to go. So same thing is happening right now. They are applying that pressure to Gaming Gladiators. You see the Pikachu Unite move coming through, trying to deal that damage, but Lutano's down here getting those E-speed resets, trying to get whatever they can. And they are going to bring down Assassin Dave. Now they're looking at SoSat Sam. Can they grab that as well? Fui dealing that damage through, Sam going down. And it looks like they are just going to continue to apply that pressure and get whatever they want from the bees. And we'll see if Gaming Gladiators decides to push in and maybe get this first initial goal here from Foreign Famous. If, you know, the damage from Toon is it going to be enough from this rooftop?
And Toon was probably saying, hey, leave me alone, man. I'm trying to stay hidden right here, but obviously going to still secure that Rotom as well. And so Gaimin Gladiators, that's looking pretty nice because you've got the dreads underneath your belt. Now you've got the Rotom right here. It's going to put a lot of pressure for Foreign Famous just before the final stretch. So that's something they have to deal with and then obviously manage this Zap fight, however that's going to go. We are now in the final stretch. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see who's going to take this. It could be anybody's game. Obviously, with how it's been going, this has just been back and forth. So this is where you see those skirmishes happen. Those Unite moves are going to fly. The Rings Unbound is down. Anybody can port in. And we also have the pressure from the if we actually let it hit because he needs to be involved in this fight. And good thing he was because he's going to go ahead and pull off Zog right here for Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah, and they're trying to play underneath their goal here, trying to keep that pressure going, and they're looking at Glockstick, going to be able to get that. So Goof going to be able to return the favor. If we going to go down due to the Rings Unbound by Indy, and now they're just currently just brawling over the Zapdos. Will they get it? Gaimin Gladiators is going to be able to secure that down, and now they're going to go ahead and try to run it down with all of their full pockets, trying to break whatever they can. So Indy going to start it off here at bottom goal. Top goal, they're kind of already splitting and trying to figure out where they want to go with that. They got the 78 to start, followed by the 100 by Toon. Going to be able to secure that one down, and now Goof going for the throw it in the main. And now it's just a matter of them playing defense. Can they go ahead and back swoop? Is Indy going to just sit here and apply a little bit more pressure? It looks like that's going to actually be the game there. So good job by Gaimin Gladiators. We're securing down that middle objective once again, getting that Zapdos their way. And yeah, securing the game for them.
Gladiators, I salute you with that 596 for Gaimin Gladiators to 139 for Foreign Famous. GG gonna take the victory. Everybody in the chat is right. That really did come down with the Zapdos to Indy. I mean, Endo just playing nuts with that ultimate, you know, that Unite popped off. It was kind of, everything was just a well-oiled machine for Gaimin Gladiators right there. You're seeing Goof right now, once again, 86k damage with that A9. We are loving it because you even look at some of these, you know, these are some damage-dealing Pokemon on the side for Foreign Famous. Like, you look at So Sad Sam, you look at Assassin Dave, 63, 62, nothing to sneeze at, right? But 86, that is just nuts with that Alolan Ninetales. But like I said, Indy Bear pulling off kind of that last play. And then obviously everybody was able to score in with Kanashi mentioning those full pockets. And that looked very good if you were Gaimin Gladiators. And it leaves you shaking if you're Foreign Famous, right? So anyway, wonderfully done. Very well executed.
Yeah, both of these teams understood what their game plan was moving forward. You see the way how, you know, when you see Foreign Famous take that fight, they have been picking off the right targets and trying to get that going. But the main MVP, especially in this fight, I know that a couple other people pointed it out, is Zugrug. The prioritization of Safeguard is really important, especially in a fight with both Charizard, Botchamp, and Slowbro. You have to keep in mind which one and when you're going to be using it. So being able to use it to completely deny a Unite move is huge. Possibly stop, you know, if there was submission in this game, that is another thing that you have to look out for. And then the last one is literally anything coming out from Slowbro. So being able to hone in and understand, okay, this is what they want to do right now. I need to prioritize my Safeguard, make sure that it lands on the target that is going to be hit in this moment, whether it happened to be Toon or Goof in that moment. You know, Zugrug just understanding we need to make sure that they stay alive in this fight, and those things really turn around the fights. And that's the reason why Gaimin Gladiators were able to just take some of these fights. You know, Goof down with like 1 HP, barely surviving in some of those fights, just thanks to Zugrug being there and being there in time.
We see Zeke Fox, of course, saying, you know, Fui runs that dynamic punch in close combat. Yeah, we noticed a lot of. I think, you know, these were pretty crucial plays overall. Like Foreign Famous was in that match, as in this wasn't just an absolute stomp until that Zapdos. Although Gaimin Gladiators was poised very well. You know, they got those Dreadnought, they got the Rotom a few times. They were set up really nicely, and so like I say, it's a well-oiled machine there. Gaimin Gladiators, it's just Foreign Famous, they were trying, you know, so I think that's kind of the point, right, is that this was not for without any lack of effort, of course, you know, so great job, you know, both teams. Wonderful. And this, you know, I think Kanashi and I, but also I know that our behind the scenes, our production team was saying the same thing, but like hopefully all of you in the chat agree that for the first Pokemon Unite Blitz, and when you're looking at the North American scene, like these are the kinds of games we want to see, you know? So we are all very pleased. We are all very happy. And enjoy Pokemon Unite Blitz #1, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to us by Arcway Gaimin and Pepper.gg.
Yeah, it's definitely a great production, a very good, cast of teams getting ready for this. So once again, Foreign Famous and Gaimin Gladiators got to run it back again to go ahead and see who's going to be facing off against Nemesis in the grand finals here. So definitely things to be keeping an eye out for. We'll see how well these teams are going to be adjusting to each other. I do agree that some of the lineups and the plays that they were going for really did pay out, especially on the second wave of fights. You understand that like teams are pushing forward in the first fight, winning with their Unite moves and then applying pressure. What Foreign Famous and Gaimin Gladiators have done is like they say, okay, we're just going to hang on to our Unite move. We're going to wait just a second and then go ahead and push later. So we'll see how this moves forward with this new lineup, if there are going to be any new changes, or if it is just going to be, let's just run it back, run the same thing that we know that works, and go from there.
Well, Kanashi, and this maybe is a testament to Arcway Gaming as well. We're seeing a lot of love in the chat. I mean, there are a lot of people that are just here for you and me, here for Arcway, here for Pepper.gg. You guys, you are just absolutely incredible, and we are here to bring you hopefully the most entertaining experience you can get, but just some amazing matches. Indy still kind of the one hovering right now. Most likely going to go ahead and pick this Hoopa, so I don't think we'll be too surprised there. But Kanashi, it's just who's going to put pressure where and who's going to be able to, kind of figure out this, like, Foreign Famous, the onus is on them, obviously, to make up a lot of lost ground. But, still, I think anything can happen.
Yeah, but these teams just hitting the run it back, just saying, you know what, we're going to do the same thing again and make sure that we can keep that damage forward. I don't know if I pointed this out, but you see the special attack specs on Slowbro followed by the potion just for the support. And these are just things where like literally these tiny changes like of item pickup and held items, it's going to be really interesting to see if that is going to be the case moving forward. So we'll see if that is the case, how these teams going to play out, and then what will that do for these teams moving forward. Both of these teams have just played against each other using the same lineups, so we'll see if anything does change moving forward, especially in this match being game number 2 between Gaimin Gladiators and Foreign Famous here in losers finals.
Right. So we have that ready go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. And so, Gaimin Gladiators, with that one game underneath their belts, if you guys are just now joining us, going up against Foreign Famous. And we saw quite a match last time. Gaimin Gladiators was just, as I described it, a well-oiled machine. And so we're going to see how they play with this. But Foreign Famous, like I mentioned at the start, the onus is really on them to try and figure out, how can we do things a little bit differently? Maybe it's these micro changes, or maybe it's something real big. Certainly it wasn't so much in the roster picks, obviously, as we're seeing. Putting a lot of pressure here on this bottom path, though. You want to contest for these Audino real early on. You're seeing a lot of GG losing some health right now, but staying in it, staying in this fight.
Yeah, just trying to take away whatever they can at the moment. Just get the experience that they need, figure out what they can and cannot take, and see what they can trade out there. If we dropping really low and Lutano actually going to drop even lower than that, as they are going to be brawling it out here at top lane.
What's a bit shocking, wasn't it? Because you're looking at Fui and it's like, wow, this is not going very well for him. And then it's just, you did not expect Lutano to drop down right there. And that's why I say anything can happen. These Bs go down at 850, and so they're going to be brought down pretty quickly. And right now, it's just kind of what is going to, this top path, I mean, this has been deadly up here. You're going to see now that KO streak of 2. A lot of that, though, was handled, that while Toon is getting those final hits, Lutano doing a lot of the damage, and then you're noticing what happens on this bottom path is that we're going to see Goof be brought down here by Foreign Famous. So Gaimin Gladiators, I don't think they're sweating it too much. You're looking at 48-0 still early on in the match. We have to see how it all unfolds.
Yeah, and Toon caught out here in the jungle, or the side over on Foreign Famous's central area, just trying to take away as much of the jungle as possible, but that's not going to happen for them, as they are going to get punished for that. So good on Gaimin Gladiators for trying to steal the space, but we got to see how well they could respond back, especially with the pressure coming up at top lane.
And so you'll see Lutano there just trying to stave off 2 of them at the top path. Once again, he's kind of been no stranger to that in this tournament, but probably in his whole Unite career, you could say. But, had to throw down the Meteor Mash to just kind of say, hey, this is a warning shot. I'm going to push you guys back. So, well executed. Seemed to defend them off, and obviously with staving them off, it means that Dave is going to be, Assassin Dave for Foreign Famous, going to be running down now to the bottom path. But then you saw where Toon went, kind of executing there for the top path. And so we're going to see likely lots of rotating like that because obviously you're noticing on the minimap Lutano coming back down. We're looking at Dread, right? So you got that 720Bs that just showed up, but this is stacking up for a Dreadnought fight. Also some help right before that happens.
Man, the E-Speed resets, also utilizing that Razor Claw that we saw coming out from Lutano is really big. And now the fight's going to start out here. Fui trying to get some damage here onto Goof. And Goof going to get held up just a tiny bit. But it looks like they are going to apply that pressure moving forward. They are going to take down Fui. Now Gaimin Gladiators pushing on forward and trying to take away as much of the space as possible, trying to get a couple big scores here as Toon trying to dunk in that 39, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're dropping pretty low and trying to secure these objectives. So you see Dreadnought is going to go down this time. Now, Foreign Famous, do they want to altercate? Do they want to start this up? Fui trying to break down Zugrug here and chasing away the rest of the crew. Toon just playing it nice and slow. It looks like they may have been at an impasse. We'll see if that's going to be the case. No, Gaimin Gladiators just going back for a quick rest. Now they're going to look to be aggressive here. Trying to look at Fui. It looks like Toon going to be able to get out barely thanks to the safeguard. Now Goof, the one in trouble, gonna get picked up and dropped down. Assassin Dave doing exactly what his name says and assassinating out their top priority targets right now. Gonna be able to take out Toon as well, being able to float over everything with that Charizard Unite move, just applying that pressure. Gonna get that 40 dunk in. So Foreign Famous winning out the war of the space there, but we'll see how well that plays out later on into the game.
Well, what was significant going on at that Dreadnought fight was that you were trying to keep Assassin Dave from the evolution, right? So now he's actually level 10. It was a very different picture just in that, span of time that you were commentating this series of events that led to this right now. You were trying to keep Dave at bay, but also the rest of the team. Gaimin Gladiators, like I described, the well-oiled machine part of that is that they executed that way. So we had like 2, taking on the Dread and then keep everybody else zoned off. They did really well at that. And so we're going to see the Aura Cannon go down now from Lutano. Give him a little bit of extra edge right now, can escape that situation, and a lot of people dropping down very low on HP on both sides, and now this will be deadly from So Sad Sam, ladies and gentlemen. Not only pulled off the Unite, but Pikachu's range. You can get some of these CC maneuvers. You can just pull off exactly like that. Like that crystallized what Pikachu is really good for.
Yeah, Foreign Famous taking control of this top lane, getting a couple of pickoffs as well. The Bliss Assist coming in, trying to save the rest of the squad here. And we'll see if Gaimin Gladiators can turn this. They're looking at Fui, 1 HP, going to be able to book it this time. The Rotom going to already touch down, and they're going to make sure that they can't score a lot off of this. So even though they do get the first 2, it might not be enough. You do see the TP coming out here from Foreign Famous. The Hoops Unbound bringing everybody back down, and Assassin Dave going to be able to steal up that initial pick onto the Dreadnought and not allow the rest of the Gaimin Gladiators to get in. But it looks like they are rotating down, not going to make it for free this time, and make sure that they can take away a couple of the kills as well. Fui coming down, looking at Zugrug. Can they bring him down? Zug just trying to steal away as much as possible before they get brought down themselves and just be a little bit more annoying here. We do see Gaimin Gladiators still playing defense and Foreign Famous having that significant lead in terms of score, but we still anyone's game, still early.
What we could grasp from that, like especially at that second Dread, when the Rings Unbound came through in that portal, Dave, just the timing of that seismic slam, the Unite move from Charizard, rather immediate, timing. So it's like you just come out the gate swinging. I mean, you're like in Infinity War, kick with magic, as Spider-Man. It's kind of using the Doctor Strange portals and coming through to land these kicks on the Thanos Titan that is Gaimin Gladiators. But you're seeing right now the Gladiators are doing it. They're being that Titan, right? Because they're going to possibly bring down ES. That will confirm. Phil is out of there as well as So Sad Sam, that Pikachu. They are going to get back in time for the Zapdos, of course, but these are some big picks right now that you want for GG because they need to make up just a little bit of score ground right here. It's not that it's too drastic or too dramatic, but maybe for that kind of later game you do want to kind of let's say close up that score gap just a little bit if you can.
Yeah, and you see the way how they're playing this out. You do see Assassin Dave going for that quick drop on the tune, and they get that. Looking at Zogrug next, that's already 2 down. And Assassin Dave just applying that pressure along with the rest of the team of Foreign Famous already down at this bottom goal. They are going to TP out to make sure that they do have the HP in order to fight this last fight really well. But we'll see what they decide to go for. You do see Fui already working on this Rotom, and if they do happen to get that, that's going to apply a lot of pressure, especially moving into the final stretch.
We're seeing AKN Chris in our chat saying, why does Zug hate using Slowbro? I don't know if he hates using it or not, but we've noticed that Zug's pattern has been to be these tanky supports, and so that Wigglytuff and that Blissey right now that we've seen brought out in this tournament, I'm still kind of determining, does he play better with that Wiggly or does he play better with this Bliss? Speaking of Zugrug, of course, looking like it's going to be dropping down way low. This would be a time you need kind of that Blissey tankiness, and so it's looking good because that's the final stretch right here. We didn't want to lose any of our players, whether you're on either team, of course. So that final stretch means that Zapdos is in play here at the legendary pit. You got a lot of people hiding out in the tall grass. We're just kind of waiting for somebody to initiate that, and it looks like Foreign Famous now, Phil, digging around in this deep grass that won't actually find them in the tall grass, I meant to say. And so obviously Gaimin Gladiators going to give a few pokes and prods here as, you know, you're waiting for that massive team fight to happen. But Phil still getting poked at and will amnesia off some of this. But I'm also looking at what's going on the top path, Kanashi, because you're seeing, of course, full pockets right there from Fui, Lutano. They were sort of meeting eyes, right? You know, mean bugging each other there and getting ready for this to go down at the Zap.
Yeah, huge damage coming out here. You do see Indy popping out that Hoops Unbound. Both teams are actually going for it, try to get that damage through, and Indy's just trying to book it as quickly as possible. But Foreign Famous does have the better positioning here, and now it is just going to be up to Indy Indy to go ahead and try to steal that, and that's not going to be the case. So Foreign Famous has that pressure and really made that adjustment from last game. They said, you know what, if we get Assassin Dave up to a certain level, we just start dropping Unite moves left and right. We're going to be the ones applying the pressure. We're going to be the ones who are going to be dunking those hundreds at the end of the game. So really good on Foreign Famous to make that adjustment and play off of the Zapdos, understand that they have better positioning for this last fight, and just making sure that they can secure that down. So we have a tied series on our hands, everyone.
That's right, because when you see a score of 7-0-2 like this in less than even 30 seconds to come back from it, there's usually no coming back from that, especially when your team doesn't have any full pockets or anything, and you're looking at that, why am I blanking on the name of this? Corefish's Evolution. Yeah, Crawdon, thank you. I was like, why am I blanking on that? But Crawdon sitting there just trading off some blows and saying, hey, are you giving up or not? I'm going to start punching you in the face here. You're not going to move. But yeah, so that's going to be both of our teams. I'm so sorry, Chad. That's probably so bad of me to blank on the name of Crawdon. But here we go. You're looking at that massive 7-0-2 for Foreign Famous to Gaimin Gladiators 195.
We're trying to get Crawdon to a kill in this game, but we'll see how it goes. Both these teams doing pretty well, as you do see the damage numbers moving forward. You know, Assassin Dave definitely living up to his name, dropping, you know, both Toon and Goof on their heads on multiple occasions, and just having that damage work out for you, especially like snowballing. And what we saw is once Assassin Dave got to level 9, it was just pop Unite move, pop Unite move. If I have it, I'm going to use it. Just using it early and often in order to not only engage but also get themselves that unstoppable for later on in the fights as well. So really good use of that, and now it's going to be up to, you know, Gaimin Gladiators to figure out how they want to adjust to that. So Zugrug, whether it is just knowing, oh, Assassin Dave is now level 9, like we got to just safeguard our squishiest target, make sure that that is going to be the case, or if it is going to be something else that they have to go ahead and play. We'll see if that is going to be the case moving forward, especially into game 3. This is where, like, you know, teams are going to pull out all the stops. This is for your tournament life here.
Yeah.
You know, loser goes home, winner moves on to go ahead and face a nemesis in the grand finals. So definitely a lot riding on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I'm sure you guys, a lot of y'all would have noticed Toon right there, the stats for Toon's Greninja at that 94k damage. This is just wonderful, wonderful job. Obviously, you can do all the damage in the world, but it comes down to the scores in Unite, and so that's where Foreign Famous just locked it down with that Zapdos. But as we noted during the match's commentary, they were ahead largely, and so even going into that like 3-minute mark, when you were down almost 200 points or so, it was a bit to make up for Gaimin Gladiators until you hit that final stretch. That's usually a point where you can make up a difference of 200 or so. But yeah, we're already going to be jumping in very nice and quick, I would say, into our next lobby right here. So it's as Kanashi said, what is GG going to do this time? Because the onus was first on Foreign Famous, but now we're looking at GG. So it's the FF, it's the GG. I don't know. We're about to go through all the alphabet. Somebody got a HH team that we can come up with next. But yeah, it's a FF versus GG, guys.
I mean, if anybody is going to get behind an HH team, please make it Hot Hands. I'd be 100% on board with that. But we'll see how these teams are going to be squaring up. We do see Toon currently hovering over that Venusaur. We'll see if that is going to be the mid Venusaur or if they're going to go for something else. You see the rotation of Toon, okay, going to lock in that Greninja once again. So I feel like they are going to do the run it back. They are going to play the same way. It is going to be really interesting to see how these teams are going to be playing up and squaring up against each other once again. So they have the right idea. They're playing the best games that they both could possibly can. So it really does come down to the way how their mentality moving forward into this last match. Literally, like, smaller mistakes getting cleaned up. This is what's going to allow them to win this match and go ahead and face off against Nemesis.
I think it is worth noting Fui not running the attack weight. It's not that it's, of course, required of him a champ to run attack weight or anything like that. It's just something that I noticed. Running with the bands, I believe. We had the muscle band probably where the attack weight normally would go. Right up in there. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, on my signal, unleash hell. Is this cringe yet, Kanashi? All the Gladiator movie quotes?
I mean, I've seen Gladiator.
Is it working? Is it working?
A good amount of times, I got my thumbs up.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you.
But yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's going to be interesting to see how these games are going to be played out. Once again, Gaimin Gladiators this time going to be on purple. We have Foreign Famous here on the orange. This is game 3 of the losers finals. Winner faces off against Nemesis for a possible bracket reset and a full match. So this is going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. We'll see how these teams are going to be facing off against each other, and we do want the best of the best here.
Yes.
At, Pokemon Unite Blitz #1.
That's right. We want to see it because going up against Nemesis is going to be tough. You want that team to be solid. So, ladies and gentlemen, here on the bottom path, we're seeing a lot of pressure put on Gaimin Gladiators, but I think they're trying to equalize that out because you're seeing So Sad Sam drop down now, as well as, of course, Hoopa right here, Gloxic. And so, at this moment, we're seeing our kind of semi-early jungle rotation, but also really fast in that central area. They are evolving, both of them at that middle stage in level 5. So this is, on pace right now for, obviously we're only a minute down, so you can't call too many things of the match, but we're on pace for that really kind of even match setup. Fui sitting on here with a lot of points at 24. You can obviously see Gaimin Gladiators had dunked theirs in. There's going to be the bees, and then look at this deadly, just absolutely deadly from Gaimin Gladiators, who will drop in another 11. That's from Lutano, stacking that attack weight with the 1. Maybe go back, pick up a few more, and put the pressure here on Assassin Dave as we score in, put the pressure, do all these things all at once.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're stacking the attack weight, taking advantage of the open goal here, and making sure that Fui doesn't get the levels early. That is another thing. Like, once Machoke shows up, either with Seismic Slam or just with the amount of damage that they have here, it does snowball really quickly. So it's going to be up to Gaimin Gladiators to try to get their damage rolling their way, get ready for that final push later on. It's going to be really interesting.
Was a little bit sneaky from Lutano too, if you want to think about it. I mean, it was played exactly how it should be. I'm just saying that, like, to get that score in, that's going to evade some damage too while you're through the score animation. And when you only have 2 points, that's obviously going to get dunked in. People aren't going to defend from that, is what I'm meaning. And so even without, much pressure on you, I mean, even with a lot of pressure on you, is what I mean. So what we're going to see now, as my head is trying to wrap around all of this, I think I'm a little bit tongue-tied after not being able to say Crawdons, for God's sake. Anyway, Gaimin Gladiators right now with that 52. Looking pretty solid here, but still the early game, and we're going to be looking for the bees and the Dreadnought, of course, so keep your eyes peeled. Who's going to get what, and what's going to happen in between those 2 objectives as well.
Yeah, they're just positioning, getting ready for that. Bees getting shredded pretty quickly, but we are getting ready to see the positioning moving forward into this. Assassin Dave dropping really low against Toon Slim, but we'll see if Gaming Gladiators are trying to take up a lot more space this time, making sure that they are the ones who are in control of the Dreadnought fight and just applying that pressure, but Foreign Famous just playing underneath their goal zone, just making sure that they can survive and keep that health and recovery topped off here as they're trying to bring down Dreadnought. And you do see how these teams are rotating down. It looks like Gaming Gladiators is going to secure that down. So Foreign Famous just trying to play around the goal, say, hey, you know what? If you guys are out here trying to score, trying to take our space, we're at least going to defend against it. And that is the goal. You see Toon already diving already to tier 2, trying to go up against Sam at the moment. And continuing on with the dance and the pressure. Sam dropping really low, having 1 bar of HP. Can they do it? Oh, the shock and the stun there by the Thunder. Going to be able to get that damage through, and they are going to finally be able to bring down Toon, but at what cost? The damage is already done on their front goal. And moving on really well for them. You know, also on top, you know, Gaming Gladiators already grabbed the Rotom and now are possibly going to be dunking there. Another 40 coming out from Lutano. So really good pressure coming out from them, being able to apply that pressure, and also now going to start eating up some of the Audino that have spawned up here.
That's right. That was very solid from Lutano, and it's now Foreign Famous kind of making up on the back end of all of that happening. You know, it's like, hey, we got to deal with that Lutano. He was up there just kind of unbound, right? It's the Lucario unbound, if you want to call it that, but now we're seeing the slow smoke go down. See if we can make another pick off right now for Phil, but Phil, that tanky slow bro, gonna be able to withstand, and so that's what we love to see out of a slow bro. You know, you throw out that amnesia, you can tank a lot of hits, and that's why some people even run the potion slow bro, of course, too. You just keep on getting more life out of it. And so what we're seeing here, you know, is that, again, I think like we started, pretty even, especially for now. We're looking at the mid game. We're mostly even. Obviously the score is different, but I'm just saying that, like, the level of play, you look at the levels of each individual person, you know, we're pretty much hand in hand. You know, it's all in line with each other.
We're getting pretty dead even here. Lutano trying to go up against Fleet and Assassin Dave, but we'll see if the pressure and the damage is there. Lutano trying to run back to their front goal, see if they have a Citrus Berry ready. They do not, so Lutano just trying to figure out where they want to go if they have the damage and pressure. Dreadnought just spawned as well, so Foreign Famous might be looking to take this, but Gaming Gladiators is already kind of eating up a lot of the space. This Toon going to get down to bottom lane too. They're getting ready to take this fight. The both of the Hoops Unbound are going to come out, and this time Gaming Gladiators is going to secure that down as well, but not at a cost. It looks like the rest of Foreign Famous is coming through, going to clean up the rest of the Gaming Gladiators and say, you may have taken the Dreadnought, but at what cost? It's going to cost you 3 players minimum, maybe even 4, as they're looking at Lutano. Yeah, that's going to be 4, and now they're just going to let Assassin Dave dunk this quick 50 in there and go for that over break and slowly take the lead in terms of the score.
See how hardcore Phil from Foreign Famous was being, you know, definitely as that tanky slow bro, get up in everybody's face, you know, try to build this wall in between you and Gaming Gladiators, because they were trying to respawn and try to stop as much of that devastation from happening. Fui gonna bust down this Rotom, successfully will get that. It's gonna go ahead and attempt to touch down, but it looks like GG maybe can poise a defense for that. No, it looks like they won't be in position for that, so it will go ahead, touchdown, and end up resulting in the goal break. Now, you don't want, it's not like anybody just wants to be KO'd, right, or anybody wants for these things to happen. It's just that Gaming Gladiators, I think they kind of realize what the cost and benefit would be for all these plays, because when you see after that that kind of post-Dreadnought fight, it really did. It's like, it certainly looks like it didn't go their way, but they did actually get that Dreadnought, and like I think they know what's in it for the long game, right, Kanashi, as you're looking at this for the final stretch, as we don't want to lose at that zap.
Yeah, the play there for Gaming Gladiators as well, to just let that Rotom break, it was a dead even break, so yeah, that way they don't overscore anything. They know that, you know, you just drop the 20 and that's it. You can't really, you're not dropping 50 or, like, you know, final stretch numbers in that front goal. So really good on Gaming Gladiators to just say, you know what, that's the cost that we're willing to take. But is this the cost that you're willing to take? As we see SoSad Sam going in with that Unite move, already grabbing 1. Looking at Zugrug as well, and now Foreign Famous applying even more pressure. Looking at Indy, can they go ahead and grab that as well? But not going to be the case. Gaming Gladiators are going to be able to respawn and get ready for this fight. Now Lutano trying to get those resets, and they're gonna go down, so Fui gonna be able to clean that up as well, and now they're in position to go ahead and take this final Dreadnought, which is just icing on the cake if you are Foreign Famous. So now it's going to be interesting. Gaming Gladiators has got to figure out what positioning they want, and Foreign Famous is just rolling with objectives and a little bit of levels going their way as well. So we'll see how well Gaming Gladiators is going to be able to regroup and apply the pressure moving forward in this final match and this final stretch.
Yeah, surely our Gladiators did not want that to happen, kind of be the end result, and actually going to drop once again with Lutano. I mean, he was trying to make some moves happen, but kind of overextending right there into the territory of Foreign Famous, who is going to pull off some more of these, so there's going to be some Unite moves flying right there in the choke. This is a dangerous spot to be, especially if you're down in numbers. Look at Gaimin Gladiators. They are actually kind of falling like flies. Foreign Famous coming through with that. I mean, that seismic slam, the rings unbound, now just going to burst out that Zapdos. So yes, Foreign Famous will be that left side team to get the 15 plus points, and all those goals are charged. That is really not looking good if you're Gaimin Gladiator, so they have to position themselves really well and get a lot of this. I mean, what kind of defense would you need to go up against this, right? You're going to see what a goal left and right as Foreign Famous tries to score in right here.
Yeah, it was kind of I would say the initial pickoff on Lutano by Foreign Famous. They tried to get the jump early, but the rest of the team was not behind them in that fight. So they were able to try to just get that damage through, try to clean up, maybe get a couple really good picks. But at this point, you know, Foreign Famous has just got to play it really safe and try to get as much as they can done. But so sad Sam going to be able to get a little bit more damage here, as the rest of Gaming Gladiators is just looking to possibly score here. Going to be able to dunk that 100 in the first goal. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if these teams are going to be able to clean this up. They got 30 seconds left, and it looks like Gaming Gladiators is just going to get shredded through. So unfortunate for them. They are going to be able to continue on with that pressure, and it looks like Foreign Famous is going to be facing off against Nemesis in our grand finals.
What's interesting, Kanashi, is we don't normally see this from Gaimin Gladiators, and especially on a day like today, where they were really playing as that machine. They were playing as those juggernauts, right? They were obviously sent down to the losers, but, you know, it's just we don't often see the choke at the Zap, because what ended up happening and started it all was Lutano getting picked off right there. It was kind of curious why maybe didn't see everybody in the tall grass, but kind of overextending there and very far from his teammates. And like I often say, is the way to take out GG is you pick them off one by one, you know, to try to win those team fights. When you have it as an even team fight, you know, it's a lot tougher. So that's going to result in Foreign Famous with game 2 at a 597 for the score to 282 for GG.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where that we'll go ahead and break down the score line here. You do see Assassin Dave with a ridiculous high number. So is that Sam just getting that damage in as well. Gaming Gladiators, yeah, just couldn't find the damage, couldn't find the levels going their way. So really good on, you know, Foreign Famous in order to just apply the pressure. Look at the look at the recovery number by Phil. You have 24,000 points of recovery, and it's just ridiculous to just understand, you know, yeah, sure, I'm absorbing as much of the damage as possible, but at the same time, you know, just recovering that much is ridiculous. Good on them in order to just understand, you know, this composition is what works for us. We're going to utilize it. We're going to play it every single time. And as long as we continue with that pressure, we're going to have a lot of really good games moving forward.
Well, you know, the numbers, they tell a certain story here, but what I think you couldn't see was what I was trying to touch on last time. I'm just trying to see, Kanashi, if you maybe agree that this is the diagnosis from the doctor here, is that essentially, you know, the Gaimin Gladiators did play a mostly even, or even at some points, they seemed like they knew exactly what they were doing before that Zap fight. You know, it really came down to that final stretch changing things out for them, because again, like I was saying, they look so solid, and it's like they were making these decisions that seemed like, okay, we're going to take a cost here for the late game that didn't end up paying off clearly, because we see the result. But it's just one of those things that's kind of that's really sad, right? That's kind of a more devastating loss when you lose that way. I know I don't mean to rub salt in the wounds. That's probably a harsh thing to say a little bit, but I'm definitely not trying to be. You know, both solid teams.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like Lutano had the right idea of potentially like hopping in that bush, maybe finding somebody who's squishy, getting a quick pick, and then getting out. But sometimes you know, when you put the bait, when you guys are, you know, going for something, sometimes you get trapped yourself, and that just happened to be the case. You know, Lutano just trying to go for the cheese, and just so happens to be a part of the bigger trap. So unfortunately for them, they get picked off in that final fight, and then everything just kind of snowballed out of control at that point. But overall, you know, really good showing by Gaming Gladiators. Now it's going to be up to Foreign Famous to go ahead and take on against Nemesis and Art Ryu. So definitely things to be looking out for, especially moving forward in this broadcast of the Pokemon Unite Blitz #1.
That's absolutely right. So, Kanashi, maybe you can also throw us out to break because I think that's what we're going to be doing next. And so, yeah, we just appreciate everybody out there viewing right now.
Yep. So stay tuned, everybody. When we come back, we are going to have Team Nemesis facing off against Foreign Famous in the grand finals for a potential bracket reset and for the grand prize that we do have here for Pokemon Unite Blitz #1. See you then.